Hello and welcome and namaste from New Delhi. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Gautam Roy. Coming up over the next 30 minutes. The European Union is set for mother of all deals with India, says European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen at Davos. Europeans firm up their response against Trump's warning of more tariffs for opposing his Greenland plan. Francis Macron says EU could be forced to use its anti-coercion instrument against the US. India steps up investment pitch at the World Economic Forum. Largest ever delegation, including several union ministers, chief ministers and business leaders, amplify India's call at Davos. And the UK government approved China's controversial mega MC plans at the site of the former Royal Mint in the heart of London, 8 years after the process began. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen, who is visiting India next week, has said that the European Union was on the verge of concluding a free trade agreement with India.
And right after Davos, the next weekend, I will travel to India. There's still work to do, but we are on the cusp of a historic trade agreement. Indeed, some call it the mother of all deals. One that would create a market of 2 billion people, accounting for almost a quarter of global GDP. And crucially, that would provide a first-mover advantage for Europe with one of the world's fastest growing and most dynamic continents.
Speaking on the second day at the ongoing World Economic Forum annual meeting in the Swiss resort city of Davos on Tuesday, the European Commission President also said that the series of recent geopolitical shocks will force the European Union to build a new, independent Europe.
Shocks can and must serve as an opportunity for Europe. And in my view, the seismic change we are going through today is an opportunity, in fact, a necessity, to build a new form of European independence. The good news is we acted immediately, whether on energy or raw materials, defense or digital, we're moving fast. But the truth is also that we will only be able to capitalize on this opportunity if we recognize that this change is permanent.
Now, India is making a strong business pitch with its largest ever delegation at the World Economic Forum Summit 2026 in Davos. The delegation includes Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu, Assam Chief Minister Hemant Biswa Sarma, Gujarat Deputy CM Harsh Sanghvi and many other leaders. Speaking at the joint press conference at the Indian Pavilion in the World Economic Forum, Union Minister for New and Renewable Energy Prahlad Joshi highlighted the vision of Viksit Bharat or Developed India and the ambition of the people of India.
This space carries the ambition of our people, the resolve of our leadership, that is to make India Viksit Bharat by 2047, and the belief of India time is not coming, India's time is now.
Union Civil Aviation Minister K. Ramamohan Naidu emphasized India's economic might and stressed on the importance of contemporary India on the global stage.
India today is the fastest growing major economy in the world, and it is a country whose confidence is rooted in strong fundamentals and a very clear vision. And the vision comes from the strong and decisive leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji. And India has been growing leaps and bounds, not just in numbers, but in ambition, aspiration, and global engagement. India right now is a global trusted partner, not only for manufacturing, but for technology, innovation, and future-ready solutions. Opportunities for the world lie in India today.
On the second day at the ongoing World Economic Forum annual meeting in the Swiss resort city of Davos on Tuesday, many Indian leaders spoke on India's emerging economy and how their participation at the prestigious forum will bring in more investments into the country. Let's listen in.
India is going strongly to become the third largest economy under the leadership of our Prime Minister, Sri Narendra Modi. Assam is taking all the benefits, all the advantage out of the policy of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, particularly his policy of Act East. We are immensely benefited, and you can see from the records, Assam has become fastest growing economy in the country as per the latest data of Reserve Bank of India. We are necessarily strong in hydrocarbon, but we are also doing good in green energy.
What Maharashtra offers is credibility. So you don't have to offer anything more. In today's world, credibility is more than capital. And that is what Maharashtra has been doing. Whatever we have been saying, we have been delivering. And that is why you can see a huge and renewed interest in investing in Maharashtra. Of course, the credit goes to our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, who has created an atmosphere and an ecosystem where everybody wants to invest in India. And we are here just to tell everybody the Maharashtra story and just to tell them that in India, Maharashtra is the best place to invest.
Everybody is curious, not only listening to us, they want to invest in India. Safest destination in the world, only India. There is no other country in the world as on today. I can say that. And also, if you can see, very strong leadership. And at the same time, focusing on development and welfare and inclusive society. Our Honorable Prime Minister, for the last 12 years, he has given a strong message, and also he is building institutions.
The European nations have now stepped up their game as US President Trump refuses to back down on his ambition over Greenland. Denmark has boosted its military in Greenland as more Danish soldiers arrive in Greenland's Kangerlussuaq on Monday as part of the Arctic Endurance military exercise as Trump ramped up his campaign to take over Greenland. Responding to Trump's warning on tariffs, Denmark's Prime Minister said on Tuesday that Europe would have no choice but to respond if a trade war is initiated. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen said that the bloc's executive arm is working on a package to support Arctic security and warned that tariffs proposed by US President Trump over Greenland are a mistake.
Arctic security can only be achieved together. And this is why the proposed additional tariffs are a mistake, especially between long-standing allies. Europe must speed up its push for independence, from security to economy, from defense to democracy.
Meanwhile, at Davos, French President Macron said that Trump's warning on tariffs does not make sense. He urged nations not to accept a global order which will be decided by those who claim to have the bigger voice. US President Trump has also said on Tuesday that Britain's deal to cede sovereignty of the island of Diego Garcia in the Chagos Islands to Mauritius was an act of total weakness, adding that it was another in a very long line of national security reasons why Greenland has to be acquired. The island of Diego Garcia houses a strategically important US-UK air base in the Indian Ocean. Britain and Mauritius last year struck a deal to pass on the sovereignty of the Chagos Islands to Mauritius while allowing Britain to retain control of the airbase under a long-term lease. The deal had previously been supported by the US administration, which said when it was signed in May that it welcomed the agreement and commended efforts to secure the long-term operation of the joint military base. Meanwhile, the British government has approved China's plans to build its largest embassy in Europe in London. The decision clears the way for a new Chinese embassy, often termed as a mega embassy, at Royal Mint Court near the Tower of London. The 20,000 square metre site is said to become the largest embassy complex in the UK by area and one of the largest embassies in the heart of a Western capital. This potentially ends a years-long deadlock and signals a bid to reset ties with Beijing despite security concerns raised by lawmakers in Britain and the United States. The move comes ahead of UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer's expected visit to China later this month, which would be the first by a British leader since 2018. And still to come in this edition of DD India Live. At 45 years, Nitin Nabin takes over as the BJP's youngest National Party president. And the Australian Parliament passes a stricter gun control law in the wake of last month's Bondi Beach shooting massacre.
Take a front seat to witness the grandeur that
Welcome back. Let's now take a look at some other stories that are making news around the nation as well. Well, the Bharatiya Janata Party has formally announced today that Nitin Nabin has taken charge as the BJP's national president at the party headquarters in New Delhi. The charge-taking ceremony was attended by Prime Minister Modi along with senior party leaders, chief ministers and key office bearers, marking an important organizational transition for the party. During the event, the Prime Minister congratulated the BJP and the party's cadre and expressed confidence in the new leadership. The PM also affirmed that under Nitin Nabin's leadership, the BJP will continue to expand its organizational strength, achieve new milestones in the times ahead and further deepen its connect with the youth of the nation. Nitin Nabin has been elected unopposed, succeeding outgoing BJP President JP Nadda, and is expected to focus on strengthening the party's grassroots network and organizational roadmap going forward. Union Minister for Environment, Forest and Climate Change Bhupendra Yadav chaired a high-level meeting to undertake a detailed review of the action plans of Rohtak, Manesar, Panipat and Karnal for tackling air pollution in these national capital region cities. Stress was laid on industrial compliance, waste management and expansion of real-time air quality monitoring. The minister also emphasized that all NCR cities should be brought under the National Clean Air Programme framework. The minister also called for submission of short-term and long-term smart traffic management plans for all the reviewed cities to reduce congestion and vehicular emissions. As part of the Remount Veterinary Corps, raptors and dogs are also a star attraction this Republic Day parade. The dog squad includes 5 indigenous species, including the Rampur hound. Vishal Biristo gets us more.
4 raptors and 22 dogs, and that includes Indian breeds as well. They are part of the contingent parade. The RVC is participating for the very first time. I have with me Lieutenant Colonel Dheeraj Mehta. Let's talk to him and find out. Colonel Mehta, you have also introduced Indian breeds. So tell us about them.
Yeah, I would like to say that as dog contingents, RVC has been participating previously also as pure dog contingent. This time the contingent comprises of not just the conventional breeds of dogs. We have the indigenous breeds of dogs. Then we have raptors with us. We have the Janskar ponies with us and also the Bactrian camels. So that is what makes it a larger contingent this time, with variety which is required for the various roles that are expected out of RVC by the organization.
Okay. So when we talk about the indigenous breeds, what all are they?
We have 5 different indigenous breeds, which includes the Rampur hounds, the Mudhol hounds, Rajapalyams, Chippi Parai and Kombai.
Apart from dogs, we also have raptors, and I have with me Captain
Harshita.
Captain Harshita, what kind of excitement is there? You being a lady officer, you've trained them, you've been with them. So how challenging was it?
It's truly a matter of pride and honor for me to be a part of RVC contingent in Republic Day Parade 2026, and I'm also pleased to inform that I'm amongst the first batch of women officers in RVC, so that adds to the pride that we are having with our contingent, and it has been a great experience so far, and I strongly believe that leadership and officers don't have a gender, so that is what I have been experiencing as well.
What was more challenging, training the raptors or the dogs?
No, I think once you understand the neuroscience behind training an animal, then they are all equally highly trainable animals. But you have to understand the neuroscience of the training.
So there you hear from the RVC, and these dogs, they are all trained, they have their specialized duties, and very soon they would be deployed for different operations. With cameraman Vishbandhu in Delhi, this is Vishal Baristo for DD India.
One of the many attractions of the upcoming Republic Day Parade on the 26th of this month. Now, UAE President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan accepted US President Donald Trump's invitation to the Board of Peace. UAE has reaffirmed its readiness to contribute actively to the mission of the Board of Peace, supporting greater cooperation, stability and prosperity for all. US President Donald Trump's government has asked countries to pay $1 billion for a permanent spot on his Board of Peace aimed at resolving conflicts. Australia has taken decisive action in the wake of last month's deadly Bondi Beach shooting. In a historic move, Australian Parliament has passed a sweeping new gun control laws, paving the way for the nation's largest firearm buyback in nearly 3 decades. DD India's Rahul Upadhyay gets us more.
The question now is that the remaining stages of the bill be agreed to and the bill be now passed. Those of that opinion say aye. Against? I believe the ayes have it. Division required. Ring the bells for 1 minute.
Following the tragic, gruesome episode of mass shooting at the Bondi Beach, Australia's Senate has passed sweeping new gun control laws on Tuesday, paving the way for stricter laws and tighter background checks. The bill cleared the upper house by 38 votes to 26, with the Labour government winning the backing of the Greens despite opposition from Conservative lawmakers.
Order. There being 38 ayes and 26 noes, the matter is resolved in the affirmative. I call the clerk.
Earlier in the day, the legislation passed the House of Representatives by 96 to 45 votes, setting the stage for final approval in the Senate.
Order. The result of the division is ayes 96, noes 45. The matter is resolved in the affirmative, and I call the clerk.
Prime Minister Anthony Albanese recalled Parliament from its summer recess for a special 2-day session, responding to nationwide outrage after last month's deadly attack at a Jewish festival. The Australian Parliament also introduced tougher firearm licence checks nationwide, allowing states to use intelligence held by the Australian Security Intelligence Organisation. The new laws create Australia's largest national gun buyback scheme, a law to dispose of illicitly owned firearms since 1996, when a lone gunman killed 35 people in Port Arthur massacre in Tasmania. Rahul Upadhyay's report, DD India. Sports now, and the 6th edition of the Khelo India Winter Games kicked off in Leh city of Ladakh as Lieutenant Governor Kavindra Gupta inaugurated the event. During the inaugural ceremony, local cultural troupes performed, showcasing the diverse culture and heritage of Ladakh. The games will be held from the 20th to the 26th of this month, featuring a range of winter sports and bringing together athletes from various states and union territories. Figure skating, an Olympic sport, has been introduced from this edition, in addition to the existing speed skating and short track skating events. The Games mark another important milestone in India's growing winter sports journey.
लद्दाख शीघ्र ही इंडिया में विंटर स्पोर्ट्स हब के रूप में उभरेगा। मैं सभी एथलीट्स को उनके बेस्ट परफॉर्मेंस के लिए शुभकामनाएं देता हूं। गर्व और उत्साह के साथ मैं इस छठे खेलो इंडिया विंटर गेम्स के उद्घाटन की घोषणा करता हूं।
New Zealand have already made history by winning Test and ODI series in India. Now they eye another first, a maiden proper T20I series win against the host nation. They've come close earlier, losing deciders in 2017 and 2023, but this 5-match series carries extra edge as it's the final stop before the T20 World Cup. Both the sides return close to full strength, with Santner back for New Zealand and Jasprit Bumrah boosting India. India have won 8 straight T20I series since the 2024 World Cup, but now New Zealand remain their bogey team. But the Kiwis' preparation for the 2020 World Cup have suffered a setback, with fast bowler Adam Milne and all-rounder Michael Bracewell sustaining injuries. Milne injured his left hamstring while bowling and is currently being assessed. Bracewell suffered a left calf strain while fielding in the third and final one-day international against India in Indore on Sunday. All-rounder Christian Clark has been added to the squad as cover for their first T20 internationals of the 5-match series against India beginning on Wednesday. New Zealand will begin their World Cup campaign in Group D against Afghanistan in Chennai on the 8th of next month. Let's now talk about tennis. Defending champion Jannik Sinner barely broke sweat in launching his quest to win a third Australian Open in a row. Sinner strolled into the second round when French opponent Hugo Gaston retired with the second seed in full control of the match at 6-2, 6-1. Now, should he win 3 titles in a row in Melbourne, Sinner would join Novak Djokovic as the only 2 men in the Open era to do so. Frenchman Gael Monfils, meanwhile, bid farewell to Melbourne Park with a defeat. The 39-year-old battled all the way, but Australian qualifier Dane Sweeney prevailed 6-7, 7-5, 6-4, 7-5 in an epic battle lasting nearly 4 hours. Monfils, who's won 13 ATP titles, said in October that this year would be his last in tennis. Former Australian Open finalist Elena Rybakina reinforced her title credentials with a comfortable first-round victory at Melbourne. The 5th seed, who lost the 2023 final to Aryna Sabalenka, sent Slovenia's Kaja Juvan packing 6-4, 6-3. Rybakina, who won Wimbledon in 2022, faces France's Barbara Gracheva next. And that's all we have for this edition of DD India Live, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. And for those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India's mobile app. It's available on both Android and iOS. Just scan the QR code on the screen to download the app right away. And we'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Gautam Roy, and from all of us here in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India Live.